Ibrahim al Marashi is the author of The Modern History of Iraq and an associate professor at California State University, joining us now live from Madrid. So young people are willing to protest, precipitating these elections, but it seems that they're not willing to vote, at least not in huge numbers, which you could say in itself is a protest. How effective is that, though, at a time like this?
Yes, it's ironic that the elections that they called for are not a process in which they want to take a part in. There are few reform candidates that came out of the protest movement that are running, and it will be interesting to see if they do get elected. But it was due to the violence. Remember, this was a call made a long time ago. The government then used violence against some of the protesters. Right. So this is their way of boycotting and protesting that.
So what are they looking to change then? And if not by voting, how did they plan to help shape the future of their country?
Well, not voting is a way of depriving the new government of legitimacy, the same old political elites of legitimacy. But the problem is this: we're talking about the protest movement as a single unified movement. It never was. And so in terms of creating a cohesive set of leaders to take part in the political system, that's been elusive. That's the kind of paradox of not taking part in the elections or not forming a kind of political movement out of the protest movement, yet they want to change the system.
Yeah, and that complex dynamic tells you how deep the problems are. So if you could have the luxury of looking into your crystal ball at Iraq politically 5 years down the road, what do you see?
Looking into a crystal ball with Iraq is always murky, if you will. There are surprises, even though the election outcome says there's going to be more of the same. When the Sadr's won in 2018, that was an upset. That was a surprise. So, in other words, 5 years from now, well, if I look in the crystal ball, I see two scenarios. One is the old political elites persist. The other is the protest movement manages to institutionalize itself in a party that runs on issue that can cross sectarian and ethnic divides and has a real voice in the parliament. It's going to be either of those two scenarios.
So the current government that's just been elected, however this will turn out to be exactly, sees how few people participated. They've seen the protests. They know how weak their mandate is from the population. Does that motivate them at all to move away from the corruption that has dogged Iraq for so long?
The low turnout was similar to the 2018 levels, and that didn't really cause any change. And in terms of whether it's protest, low turnout, I don't think that's going to affect corruption. Corruption is embedded, is systemic. It's really only via the ballot box. When you have these corrupt politicians and their networks voted out, then you'll have a change. That doesn't seem to be coming with this round of elections.
Sure, it always takes time. One of the biggest problems plaguing countries around the world today. Ibrahim, great to have you. Thanks.